26th All-Star Wrestling returning to Baltimore at the Baltimore Civic Center. Saturday night, September 26th, will see the tag team combination of Mr. Fuji, Mr. Saito making their very first appearance. In addition to that tag team battle, yet another one on the card involving the newly crowned tag team champions, Tony Garea and Rick Martel. Aside from that, popular SD Super D Jones squares off against the mighty King Kong Mosca. And then the Intercontinental Heavyweight title will be up for grabs. In the return encounter, the magnificent Muraco again facing Pedro Morales. Then imagine, if you would, what the possibilities of action are in the most unusual matchup. Mr. USA, Tony Atlas, facing George, the Animal Steele. And Fred Blassie representing not only George Steele, but representing the #1 contender for the World Wrestling Federation title as well. Killer Khan faces Bob Backlund. But right now, our guest will be indeed a gifted athlete. No doubt, a great champion, perhaps. Only time will tell if, in fact, he will be that. The Intercontinental Champion, our guest, the magnificent Muraco, here with his manager, the Grand Wizard of Wrestling. But yet, let's give credit where credit is due. Pedro Morales has clearly proven himself through the years. First of all, as the World Wrestling Federation champion. Then from there, the Intercontinental Champion.
McMahon, when I want to go into ancient history, I'll go into a library. Live in despair and die in hope. The only way Pedro Morales is going to beat the Magnificent One is if the roof falls in, lightning strikes, or there is some other act like that. Otherwise, there is no way the Magnificent One can be beaten by Pedro Morales or anybody else for that matter. Now put that in your pipe and smoke it a bit.
A comment from you, Mr. Muraco?
The people of Baltimore, Maryland were treated to the excitement of the Kanaka boy from the beautiful Hawaiian Islands. They saw Morales beat my head to a scarlet mass. They saw him pound me and kick me and stomp me, but never once, never one time did you see the Magnificent One go down. He was covered in blood. He was covered with pain. He was covered with suffering. But he stood there like the man I told you I am. Magnificent. Spell it, baby. Look at it. You see it now. Your champion, the people's champion, my champion, and the Grand Wizard's champion. Thank me.
Class, class, class.
Thank you for your time, the magnificent Muraco, along with his manager, the Grand Wizard of Wrestling. However, speaking of champions, there's no doubt that our special guest this week, the most scientific wrestler to ever hold the World Wrestling Federation Championship. Our guest, Bob Backlund. As Bob Backlund prepares for your matchup in Baltimore against Killer Khan.
Well, you know, this Killer Khan, you know, maybe we can emphasize this too much, but he's got a lot of momentum going for himself and a lot of self-confidence. And when you hurt and put Andre the Giant in the hospital down in a bed for as long as he did, that's got to make you think that you can break anybody's leg or put anybody out of professional wrestling that you want to. So,
and unfortunately, to compound that, young Rick McGraw is still out of wrestling.
Rick McGraw still hasn't wrestled since that day that he injured his neck or broke it. So, golly, that's something that I've got to have in my mind, but yet I've got to wrestle a man, yet I've got to watch my shoulders so he don't pin me, and yet I've got to defend the World Wrestling Federation title right here in Baltimore in that Civic Center. And boy, by golly, I don't want to lose. But there's always that chance, Vince. Every time you step into the ring, there's a chance of losing. There's a chance of that man defeating you. No matter how bad you don't want that to happen.
If he can get you with those knee drops, Bob, it's going to be all over. Whatever it is he's going to strike, if it's an arm, leg, whatever it is, he will crush it.
I'll admit to that, Vince. If he does come down off that top rope with that 300 pounds, I won't be the champion anymore, but I've got to prevent that from happening.
Bob Backlund and his strategy concerning the title defense as he meets Killer Khan in Baltimore at the Baltimore Civic Center.